Hello friends, and welcome back to Shadowcraft. Today's concept is energy in motion. And what I'm talking about is the cultivation of emotional intelligence. Now ultimately, we'd all love to be solid and centered in our own emotion and unaffected by the emotions and projections of others. And whether you believe this to be true or not, you are correct. So here are some helpful tips and ideas for going about dealing with emotion. Now, first and foremost, we have to make it clear that no one makes us feel the way that we feel. Although at times it can seem someone does something and it triggers an emotion inside of us, and we can often feel like we want to blame the person who committed the action, the deed, the projection, whatever you want to call it. And in many ways, this is a tricky illusion, and it does in many ways feel true in the moment. But here we go. So directing emotion always back to ourselves helps us to synthesize and generate positive emotional content. And what do I mean directing emotions back at ourselves? So easy examples are when you feel angry. It's a very valuable energy. Anger is actually very powerful. But if you go and do something disastrous, project it at others, and be wrathful towards others with your anger, then you will perpetuate loops and the victim mentality. If you take that anger, such a powerful energy, and maybe you go running, maybe you go and do some shadow boxing, some form of exercise, you have used the emotion in a positive manner. And now when it loops back around for the next time, it will be a more powerful and raw emotion, and you will be able to rise above it. Now, another example, you get embarrassed. Embarrassment is a beautiful way to see that we are taking ourselves too seriously. And so sometimes we can feel, someone made us embarrassed, but no. We choose to own the emotion. We choose to work with it. Another one, you may have been dumped by your partner. You may be feeling heartbroken, and you want to give all your rage to them as if it's their fault that you're heartbroken, but no. You go and do something like go to the cemetery, maybe take a brew with you, and you sit with yourself. And if you need to cry, you cry, but you feel it fully, and it eventually changes and shifts, and it will ultimately loop back into more power. Now friends, it's not hard to see the elemental correspondences when it comes to emotions. Now we have the earth, more sort of, you've been pulled down into the ground, you feel kind of lazy, maybe you feel a little bit lethargic. You've got the water, big feelings, maybe it could lead you in the direction of sad, which is a good feeling to go into. When you feel sad, put on some sad music, go right into it, feel it deeply in your core, and express whatever you need to express with yourself. When you have fire, it can be very fiery. You got a nice foot forward, a nice fire to work with, and then you have the air, when you're feeling very mentally stimulated, you got a lot of good ideas, a lot of things going on up in the head. Now, what happens when we positively embrace all different aspects of our emotions? Well, all those elements, they actually synthesize together to create the fifth element, which is either ether or space. And this is the goal here through the cultivation of our emotional intelligence. We don't overcome the emotions of others by denying our own emotions. We don't overcome lower emotional states by denying or pushing away, resisting the very feelings. But when we embrace and we go into all aspects of emotion, we end up at a place, raw emotion, raw energy, big vibes, man, big vibrations. So through the positive expression, through feeling all the different emotions, we then loop those emotions back around into ourselves, and we start to experience, wow, it's almost like all emotions felt at once. Big vibes, man. But anyway, peace. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you find the strength, as hard as it is, to truly take ownership of all your emotions, to truly embrace them and feel them, and then see the changes in your reflection. Bless, fam. Thank you so much. Peace.